We are just back from Houston tonight, where we broadcast from the Apollo 11 mission control last night. I heard from so many of you at home on Twitter and on Instagram about what we saw in that room. It was 50 years ago today, Apollo 11 lifted off on the way to that historic walk on the moon. And tonight, right here, what we did not know, right down to those famous words from Neil Armstrong. It was 50 years ago this morning, 9:32 Eastern. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins taking off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
I can see her rising now.
76 hours, 240,000 miles later, they entered into the lunar orbit. It was the next day Armstrong opened the hatch, 5 hours ahead of schedule. It was 10:56 p.m. July 20th. Armstrong stepped off the ladder and steps foot on the moon. But that famous quote, was it really what Americans heard?
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
He later said his microphone and the radio transmission made it difficult to hear what he actually planned to say. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Buzz Aldrin would join him on the moon 19 minutes later. They took photographs, ran scientific tests. 1:11 in the morning, July 21st, both astronauts were back inside, the hatch closed, and they would sleep on the surface of the moon. And right before their journey home, few remember that Aldrin's backpack hit the engine arming switch, which was needed to light the engine, and broke it off. Aldrin then pulled a pen from the pocket of his spacesuit.
So I pushed that in. Houston says, oh, we've got a good complete circuit.
They would splash into the Pacific at 12:50 p.m. July 24th. There would be 5 more successful lunar landing missions and 1 lunar swing-by, Apollo 13. Of course, that landing aborted.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
And now, 50 years after Apollo 11, NASA plans to return to the moon and then Mars on the Orion spacecraft, successfully testing it just this month.
Here we go.
Cliff Lanham, the senior project manager, showing us the mobile launcher, 400 feet tall.
We're building the mobile launcher, which will support the Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft to get us to that first step, which will be the moon.
NASA hopes it will happen in 2024. And back in Houston, where Flight Director Gene Kranz famously sang,
Capcom, or stay for T1.
50 years later, there are now women in the 2 top jobs, as Chief Flight Director and Deputy Chief Flight Director. They are still fueled by that moment. When Neil Armstrong said the Eagle has landed.
That was an incredible moment that, I don't know, I hope my generation gets something like that.
And it was just a few years back, Buzz Aldrin telling me they had actually put odds on their trip. They knew they were risking their lives. What were the chances that you thought you were going to be able to successfully land on the moon?
Good question. So we figured it was about 60%, which we did. Not bad.
And all these years later, he told us he gives boys and girls with the same dream this advice.
Give it everything you've got.
Give it everything you've got, which is exactly what they did.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.